Refresh my heart. Give me a brand new start. I want to praise your name. What's up, family? Welcome to Beyond the Melody. I am Karen Marie, and I say Beyond the Melody because I am taking you guys behind all the things that inspire me to write music. I am a singer-songwriter. Some of you know that, some of you don't. But I made a commitment that I would actually share stories and experiences and things that could help somebody else. So that is why I'm here. You're behind the scenes of my songwriting and my life and things that happen to me and for me. So I just want to share all that. And with that, in 2020, I started doing what I called at that time 30 Days of Affirmation. So I wrote 30 different affirmations and I was going to be saying them every day. And I got to day 6. I shot all those videos out to YouTube. If you want to go back and look at them, they're all under my podcast section on my channel. And I kind of got hung after day 6 and didn't do any more because the literal bottom started to fall out in our lives. So I didn't really finish. So I'm back and I am picking up where I left off. I turned the days into weeks because I felt like I need to sit with these affirmations for more than just a day because they were really personal and important and I needed to get those things in my spirit. So I turned them into 30 weeks instead of 30 days. So we're picking up at week 7 and I know this is right because my husband and I decided that we were going to change our eating habits. Y'all, we have picked up so much weight over the last couple of years. It's not even funny. So we just kind of decided we needed to do something about that. So after his birthday Saturday, we decided Monday that we would start eating better. We would change our eating habits and we would get rid of this weight. And by the time we went back for our physicals, our physician would be surprised at how much weight we had dropped. This is strictly for our health. It's not for anything vain because I honestly believe I'm not looking at social media and looking at people, how they look, what they're doing. This is strictly for me. It is for us. We're not comparing ourselves to anybody. We are just getting ourselves in shape and doing better. So we've been in this thing for a week and I said it was ironic because week 7, I'm going to show you what the affirmation is right now. Okay, week 7's affirmation is, I control what I eat and drink. Stress and depression do not. Let me say that again. I control what I eat and drink. Stress and depression do not. And I always want to give you some word to go along with that because why? Faith comes by hearing, right? And hearing comes by the word of God. So the scripture that goes along with that is Galatians 5:22 through 23. Let's read that real quick. And this, you guys, is the New International Version. And it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. And verse 23, gentleness and self-control. Against such things there is no law. So the one thing that I love about that scripture the most is the self-control part. Because as it relates to food, you guys, we ain't had no self-control lately. Like we just, we are just completely out of control. Completely out of control. Now, in all fairness to my husband, in 2021, he lost both of his parents 5 days apart. So things have kind of just been spiraling out of control for him from that point. For me being on the other side of that, like I'm his helpmate, like I'm his woman, I'm his spouse, I'm there for him, but I'm going through this with him too. So I find myself eating and eating and eating. But here's the thing. I don't know about you guys, but there are certain things that trigger eating for me. And one of the biggest things that trigger eating for me is not stress or anxiety or anything like that. It's boredom. When I get bored, y'all, is when I eat. Like, okay, case in point. My job, I have a great job. I work with great people. I'm very blessed to have my job. But one of the things about it is I'm a creative person. I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a producer, and I do videos. I'm a content creator. So I love being creative. And when I'm doing those things, I'm not even really thinking about eating. Okay? My husband and I started a virtual choir at the beginning of the pandemic. Karen was not one of the ones that was saying, oh, I hate being locked up inside. Can we just go out? Nuh-uh. I wanted to be in the house. I mean, those were some of the best times of my and my husband's lives, because we started a virtual choir back then, maybe April, May of 2020. I don't remember exactly when it was, but we decided we were going to start a virtual choir, and we pulled a lot of people together that wanted to sing. We didn't know what we were doing. We had to figure it out, but we figured it out. My husband was all on the engineering side, and I was the one that pulled the music together. We were writing, we were having virtual rehearsals, we were sending stuff out to everybody, and we had these crazy deadlines that we had to get stuff done. We were pulling all-nighters, y'all. But that was us in our creative space. And sometimes we went the whole day and we were like, dang, we didn't eat. That is what I'm saying. So my job, on the other hand, the thing that I do from 7 to 3:30 every day, is less creative and more on the process side. Like I do a lot of processes, and sometimes those processes are the same. It's not a lot of critical thinking. Sometimes it's critical thinking, which is good for me because I have to really think through things. But I love it when somebody from another department calls me and says, hey, can you put together this thing for me and blah, blah, blah. I needed to say this. I needed to do this and blah. That is the kind of stuff that I love to do. When I'm not doing that, when I'm not being creative, I find myself going around that corner, swiping my card on that daggone snack machine more than I should. So that's what triggers overeating for me. And I can give you some facts on this. The American Psychological Association says that people overeat when they become stressed, when they have anxiety, and boredom is one of those things. So when I read that, I was like, whoa, boredom, that's me. And signs that you're overeating: you find it difficult to stop eating, you binge on certain foods for hours at a time, and like that thing in your brain that tells you you've had enough is just not working. A long time ago, probably about 12, 13 years ago, some friends of mine and I, we went out to a winery. I had never been to a winery before. I didn't like wine. Like, okay, I'm going. It might be a nice night out. My husband was on the road working, and so I went out. I went to this local winery with them, and what I found, y'all, is that I actually really, really like that wine. And I'm not one of those people back then that you could tell, a glass of wine a day is really good for your heart. And Black women, we're the leaders in heart disease. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I need to drink a glass of red wine a day. But it was more than that for me. We were under a lot of stress. We were under a lot of financial stress. We had a lot of stuff going on at that time. And so what I found that wine was doing for me, it was relaxing my shoulders. I would get off work every day and I would come home. I would have a glass of wine and my shoulders would relax. And, I would just start feeling really, really just nice and mild, and nothing was really bothering me. And that became a habit, y'all. It became a habit. I'm just, full disclosure, I am a human being first, okay? I am a child of God. I love God, and I've created some bad habits in my life. And I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day. He's a believer too. And he was telling me how he had a heart attack. And we were talking about things like addiction, overeating, and, smoking, drinking, and different things like that. And he was saying that he had a heart attack, and they told him if he did not stop smoking, that he was going to die. And he said, now, Karen, look at me. That does not mean that I don't still want to smoke. He said that was 7 years ago. And 7 years later, I still crave cigarettes. It's just, I had to make up in my mind that was something that I was going to stop doing because I wanted to live, okay? So that's where my husband and I are right now. We just want to live. We want to live. We want to enjoy each other. We want to see our grandkids. And, diabetes runs in my family. And I am pre-diabetic, okay? I'm pre-diabetic. And I've been to the doctor several times, and they've told me you need to cut back on this, cut back on that. And, I've kind of ignored it. My husband, the same thing. He has cholesterol issues, and, we have been, because of the stress and the different things, like, especially with him losing his parents and all kinds of things that we've been through over the past couple of years, it's been a bear, you guys. Y'all, everything can become an addiction. Food, alcohol, people, everything can become an addiction to you if it's something that you use as a coping mechanism. So I feel like this is a good discussion for us to have. I would love for you to comment. If you feel comfortable, I'd love for you to comment about some of the things that you struggle with. And I want you to start saying this confession this week. I control what I eat and drink. Stress and depression do not. I never say my depression. Some people may feel differently about that because I don't want to take ownership of that mess. I want to try to eradicate it, and I know that with Christ I can do that. But I know one of the big triggers of depression for me is when I'm not being who God created me to be. And the things that sometimes keep me from being who God created me to be, I have a lot of time killers in my life, y'all. A lot of time killers. My husband and I, our commute is very long, and we get involved in so many things, and the things that we have going on in our brains, we can't get it out because we have so much other stuff to do. And sometimes that triggers depression in me because I'm like, man, I just want to do what I feel in my heart to do. And your life can get so crowded with fear. It can get crowded with obligations to other things. It can get crowded with just life happening, and you're not doing what God called you to do. And that, to me, is a major, major source of depression. And y'all, don't think that Satan does not know what your triggers are. He knows what your triggers are, and he's going to keep throwing things at you to throw you off. So you have to be aware, and you have to say things, because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So whatever you're saying about yourself, that's why I started this whole affirmations thing. For me, saying it is not enough. I got to take it a step further. I'm going to add something else to these affirmations, and a lot of you know me, and you probably know what I'm going to add to it. I'm not going to say it right now, but it's going to come very, very soon, because I want you to be able to sit with this in more than one way. In your car, in your office, at work. I just want you to be able to sit with this, say it, sing it, live it. So that's my mission. I want you to get this particular confession in your spirit. Again, we are on week 7. And if you're having problems with overeating, drinking, you can even be in a relationship, you guys, that really is a source of dependency for you. You depend on it. You depend on that person to be there. When you wake up in the morning, it just does your heart so much good just to be, you know what I'm saying? So too much of anything is too much. We have to depend on God for everything, y'all. He is our source. We are his kids. We are in his kingdom. He's our king, and he can make everything new and good for us. We just have to give him the opportunity to do that. So I want you right now, if you do not know who God is, I just want you to take the time, get by yourself, and just, if maybe you've never even prayed before, all it takes is for you to say, you know what, Lord, I hear people talking about you all the time. I believe in you. I don't know for sure if you're there, but if you are, I'm coming to you, and I'm asking you to come into my heart. I believe what you did for me with your son, that he came, bled, died for me, and you raised him up on the 3rd day. I believe all of those things. I just don't know all things. And if you will accept me, I'm willing to take this leap of faith and to begin to trust in you. You guys, that's it. It's done. Now, that doesn't mean that all of your addictions and, your food habits, whatever habits you have, are going to go away right away. That's not what that means. Remember the story of my coworker. He said, and he is a believer, he stopped smoking. It's been 6-7 years. That doesn't mean he doesn't still crave it. So you have to make up in your mind that you're going to lean on God to help you. And as you start saying the right things, as you start living the right things, then the right things will come to you, and you'll know what to do with those things. So listen, I hope this podcast was helpful for you. If you're watching via YouTube, you might be a visual person. I'm glad you're here. Do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell, because we're going to be doing this in the weeks to come. Next week, I'm going to have a special guest. It is a special topic, And so I felt that it was very fitting for this guest to be here with me next week. He's agreed to come and to talk with us about these things. So I want to make sure that you know when we drop the next podcast or the next video, okay? Also, if you want to follow along, you can get a copy of the affirmations. And if you go to my website, beyondthemelody.com, I'll also leave this in the show notes or in the description on YouTube. All you do is go to my website, join the email list, put your email address in, and we'll send you a copy of that. It's completely free. You can download it, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your mirror in your bathroom, post it at work so that you can follow along and you can start saying these things. And very soon, I'm going to add a component to that. I'm going to leave a song for you, and I think right now what we all need is a refreshing. So this is a pretty old song. I recorded it over 20 years ago now, and it's the old version. I'm thinking I might do a new version. Let me know if you think I should do a new version. Let me sing a little bit for you right now, okay? Refresh my heart, give me a brand new start. I want to praise your name, free of guilt and free of shame. Refresh my heart, I want to start anew, bringing glory unto you. Refresh my heart, Lord, refresh my heart. Love you guys. See you next week.